It's Golf DMV, of course. Vern, LB, Claude, we're all here, and we've got so much to cover. We're going to get a wrap up of Vern's strength training with Coach JP. We're going to get an actual report card from Coach himself. He'll make an appearance later on in the show. Of course, we got PGA stuff to talk about. We did play around at Oak Creek. LB got fitted. There's just so much stuff to talk about. Yeah. And I guess we'll start with Bryson DeChambeau's big win. I guess a big win. I don't know if it's a big win or not, but I mean, every win on tour is a big win. You know, ask Rory McIlroy, Jordan Spieth would have been a big win. If they would have won, they would say, yes, it would be a big win.
$1.6 million is a big win.
That's a big win at the Arnold Palmer. And so here's the thing about Bryson, and I sent this text to Vern and LB before we can get into the whole thing about, the tournament, is that Glenn changed my mind about Bryson. You know what I mean? Like, because it's not as if you didn't like Bryson. He was kind of annoying, and I didn't really kind of know how I felt about it. It was just something about him that I just didn't like. You know, I couldn't understand what it was. And so Glenn helped me understand how to articulate how I feel about Bryson, which is weird because I'm a communications guy. I mean, I should be able to articulate what I feel and what I think, and I couldn't about him. It baffled me. And Glenn helped me. Bryson is not a guy you don't like or a guy you don't necessarily cheer against. You know, he's that guy. And Vern, I feel like you said it. He's just that guy that always does the weird thing. He's that guy who's always awkward, who's all, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And you just
he's our Rick McCormick.
Yeah, he does. He's always doing the most, and it's like extra. Dude, he's just so extra, and it's and unnecessary, and it's bothersome that you want to bulk up because of this whole Brooks Koepka thing at first, and then now you want to bomb at 400 yards. But once Glenn opened my eyes, well, it's not that you don't like him. He's just he's that guy that you got to rag on. He's the one. It's like, you know what? That's right. That is kind of Bryson DeChambeau, and I found myself actually kind of laughing and cheering for him over the weekend, not to win, but just feeling good that he was that he was on the leaderboard and that he was playing well. And the moment that was one of the funniest to me this weekend, maybe one of my favorite Bryson moments, was when I guess what the hole is that? Was that six? Mm-hmm. Where he just crushes it. Well, so here's the thing: the day before, everybody was hoping that he would try to at least reach the green, right? And everybody, and so folks were disappointed. They were asking him about it in the press conference afterwards. And he was like, "Listen, I'm trying to play the course, And so,
I'm still.
But the next day, there's a crowd there behind him, and he goes for it. He bombs it, and he hits it, and he throws his arms up, and he's looking at the crowd and getting into it. And I'm like, it's turning into a long drive contest, and he's really feeding off the crowd. And he had this look of just pure joy and accomplishment on his face.
You know what it reminds me of?
But it wasn't like the boastful, braggadocious. No. Yeah, look what I just. It wasn't that look. It was totally a nerd, geeky kind of look, like he's in the cafeteria, right?
Yes.
And somebody's beating on the table and freestyle rapping, and he gets up and does some kind of weird dance move, and everybody's cheering him on.
And it's unexpected. It's an unexpected cheer, and he's getting crazy. He doesn't know what. He did look like that. When he pumped his fist, it looks so awkward. Yeah. It's like if you had a basketball team and the dude, the 10th man on the joint, somehow gets on a run of threes and he just doesn't know what to do with himself. He doesn't know how to high five.
It's like the feeling of accomplishment was like as if he was working on it, like that kid in the lunchroom, and he's dancing like he was working on dance moves at home for the last 2 months.
He's been holding
his moves, and he got this look on his face, not that everybody else likes me, but I'm satisfied with myself. I'm so happy with what I just did. And he's walking down the fairway, and I was just like, that's my guy, Bryson. That's Bryson.
It was a surprise to him. It was a surprise to him. And then just to add on to what you said, he's basically the guy. If there's 5 or 6 guys around in a group, you got a group dynamic going, and we're all there's a joke. There's some joke going on. We're all making a joke. LB makes the joke, and then I add to it, and it gets to Bryson. He's the one in the group that either takes it too far, he ruins it, it gets awkward or silent. He says something weird and then a goat came, and then you're like, well, that's not what we're doing, dog. It's like, come on, he's that guy. He's that guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, it's real weird. It's like, wait, what? Absolutely. And so there's just that look on his face. Mm-hmm. But he played to the crowd, you know what I mean? And the crowd was loving it. And so, good for him. And so I don't feel like at one point I put him on the same category as Patrick Reed, but he's not anywhere close to that.
But let me give him credit for this, for going for it again on, was it Sunday? When he didn't have to? I don't know what to like. Again, if it's we do this thing where we assign a narrative based on personality. If Brooks does that, Brooks is ballsy. It's like, look at that. Right. That's what I expect from Brooks. When he did it, I was surprised, but even then I said, oh, it must be some statistical advantage to this or something. That must be the reason he did it. But he could have just been feeling himself, even for Bryson. He could have just been like, you know what, I'm gonna do it again. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. And then this look on his face, and I think I texted you guys this too. Another Brysonism is this look on his face of confusion when he misses a putt, like a medium range to long putt. It's like I did the math and I counted the trajectory and the velocity and this and that. Like it should have went in. Like why didn't it? I mean, he really looks confused. I'm like, dude, just clean it up and go to the next tee box. Like what it's
almost like the green is wrong. Like what are you doing?
Right.
I did it correctly.
Well, and then Lawrence texts back and says, it's like something along the lines of, isn't that what well, what do you do when you miss a putt? I'm like, well, you know what? Actually, I guess I kind of do the same thing. I'm disappointed that I miss it as well.
Right. I saw it going left. I don't know why I went right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was shots fired. He said, I got exactly what he said. He said, and he said, clean it up and get off the green. That's Claude. And LB is like, how many times have you wondered why your putt didn't go in? And he had a confused face. I was like, oh, okay. There was no LOLs in there at all either. He was just like, fall back. I was like,
right. We all do, because we all do that. We all miss a putt and go, I saw that thing going left and it went to the right and I missed it by 2 feet.
And they were close for him too. There was a bunch that were really close.
Yeah, really close. Exactly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that changed my mind, about him playing.
So back to Bryson before we leave.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Bryson, what do you all think of and I don't know what the term is. We'll have to come up with something for the long drive gamification of the PGA. Because with the way he was performing on hole 6, was straight long drive. I mean, that's basically what it was. You got the crowd cheering, he's demonstrative after he makes the swing. It's straight. I mean, it's a page out of the long drive playbook.
It is.
So I'm not I don't think I'm a golf. Well, I'm probably more of a golf purist than you two are, because especially with attire and music and all that other stuff. But part of me, Maybe it's because the fans, this is the first time we've had fans in a while too on the course that we actually hear and see. And they were not social distancing, just to note that. They did have most did have masks on. But that whole atmosphere of the people screaming and yelling and egging them on to do it. I don't know how I feel about that as far as golf goes. You know what I mean? Because it takes us it's taken us in a road, that I don't know if we can go. You know what I mean? I don't know if we can come back from.
So there's two parts. There's 2 parts to that. The actual play itself, right? The actual play of going for it and everything. I'm still not.
Fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with that too, because Colin Morikawa last week. Colin Morikawa don't hit it So in terms of, and this goes more towards the whole the distance argument. Until guys are able to do this like consistently tournament to tournament and it starts winning all the time, you can miss me with that. You still, what do we say? Strokes gained approach. Is that you gotta hit them greens and make them putts. So I ain't worried about that. But I'm kind of, you talking about for the atmosphere, LB, for the atmosphere. I'm kind of with you a little bit actually, where it's like I don't mind after.
Right.
I don't mind after. Just keep, what I'm saying? Right. He hits it and then everybody there's a big roar, boom, boom. But yeah, don't be we can't make every tournament, what was that? The waste management. We can't make every tournament on the tee box. Like just ease up, just calm down. If he does something dope, you can cheer him later or whatever. But yeah, don't egging him on and stuff. Yeah, because the other thing is he's got playing partners in that group too. That's not gonna go over well.
Exactly.
With every single person.
Yeah. So I think I kind of agree with you as well. I don't even the waste management, I'm not a fan of it because of the fans. I'm not a fan of that tournament because of the fans and how they act and scream and yelling and all that stuff.
It's gotten worse.
I mean, it's like a college football game.
Yeah.
That kind of, you know what I mean? I don't, again, maybe it's just me. There's parts of the game that I enjoy that are quiet. You know what I mean? I don't need to hear all that other stuff from people screaming, hollering, and throwing beach balls around and all that nonsense. This is not a college football game.
That's right, Shooter McGavin.
This is golf.
That's right.
This is golf, damn it.
I agree. But I don't mind the waste management. Especially when, for the most part, it's just that one hole. I didn't mind what happened with Bryson because there's been a buildup over the last year and a half or so about him
that he brought on himself.
Yeah, about him trying to, and so when you get to a hole like that, I think people are going to, and you might see some of the same action this upcoming weekend at the Players on 17 with the Island Green. But usually they wait until you hit the shot. So
yeah, and keep in mind
that's different too because that's an Island Green. I mean, all they can do is swing an iron. A wedge and go for it. They can't. There's no long drive championship.
No,
and for that hole.
And I'll give it a pass even this time where it's like, hey, we haven't had any fans that go like basically. I think this will settle down.
Hopefully,
as everything starts to open back up and people will get used to going to golf tournaments again. You get regular golf fans out there like, all right, everybody fall back.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Yeah. Okay. Get a bunch of old people out there. They'll squash it up.
He'll be out there to be the noise ranger. He'll make sure you keep you guys quiet. So anything else stand out to anybody about this tournament at all?
Just a couple things. I watched a lot of it on Thursday and Friday because it's during work time. Terrell Hatton. I'm liking him just to watch him cuss at himself and beat himself up when he misses putts or make bad shots. Okay. He's my new blockhead because he just he's cussing. Yes, because he's mad at himself. He's dropping clubs. He's doing all that stuff. And I watch it on Sky Sports, which is out of UK. So they really follow, the European players on their broadcast at least.
Right.
So they're always commenting and everything. So to me, it's pretty funny. I know, Vern, you want to talk about Robert Gamez.
Robert Gomez, really quick. So so I actually have a question for you. Like, so for those who don't know, let me pull my notes up here. Robert Gomez, 52, PGA Pro, went pro, I think in 89. Has been playing a while, right? He's only got 3 wins. His last one was in 2005 at the Valero. Before that, he had 2 wins in 1990, 2 tournaments. I didn't care to write down. But basically he won, or Bay Hill was one of them. So, the Arnold Palmer. So his rookie year, he won it in 1990 with a walk-off eagle against Greg Norman.
Oh, wow.
Imagine that your rookie year. Yeah, okay. Well, okay, so fast forward. Now, here's the thing. If you don't know, the Bay Hill, once you win, you get an invitation for life. So that was his win. But in this past weekend, I think it was Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thursday, he shot a 79. Friday, he put up a 92, Claude.
Whoa.
Now, you might say, okay, you're picking on a guy, everybody has like a blow-up round. Well, so his card, real quick before I get to what he's done historically. His card, no birdies, 5 pars. This is basically my card. 5 pars, 7 bogeys, 5 doubles, and a triple. Not great. Didn't sign the scorecard Friday, and so he got disqualified. He would have been the low man for the tournament, but he got DQ'd, and as a result, somebody else was, which I think will be made mention later. So my question to you is, before I get to the rest of his stats, is you have a lifetime invitation to this tournament, Claude and LB. You realize, maybe I haven't been playing that well. Do you keep coming back? Before you answer, Gomez in the last 31 years, he's missed 24 of the 31 cuts, including 13 straight. And in the last 11 rounds, he's only broke 79 once. In the last 11 rounds, he's only broke 79 once. So what do you, when do you just say, you know what? I'll take the invite and do like a program. Let me just come out and be around, get PGA Pro access. Use it to just be around it,
right?
Just not compete. Now that could be just me saying that as a trash amateur. But if you're going to DQ yourself by not signing your score, if you're going to put up a 92 and not even sign the scorecard,
right? Just, why'd you even come, man?
Next year maybe just come hang out. What about? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I wouldn't. To me, that's the same as every boxer that stays, 3 fights too long. Every basketball player, they can't jump anymore, and they're still out there trying to collect the check. Yeah. On their situation, I kind of give them a pass because they will get paid. In his situation, you got to perform in order to get paid.
That's true.
So what are we doing?
13 years. You haven't.
That's the thing right there. You're not making cuts. You're not getting paid. I mean, at some point, it's costing you more to go than anything else. Like just because you get the, So
the last 11 years, you only broke 79 once. I mean, just go hang out.
Is he on the? I haven't noticed him, but is he on the Champions Tour, the Seniors Tour?
No, they still. I don't think so. They still have him listed as the PGA Tour. I mean, with this game, I don't know if he's gonna do rid of the
that kind of score, right? You're not even gonna make it. But the good part about the Champions Tour is there is no cut line. So you could get a paycheck.
You know what? He should go.
It might be a couple grand, but
that's what he should do. That's what he should do.
If he's eligible. The other thing, we'll run through this real quick because I know we got things to get to. Patrick Reed, I don't know if you all saw, there's another story that he might have cheated again.
Oh no, I didn't see this. What happened?
Yeah, well, his ball, I forget what hole it was or whatever. He just to back up, he did miss the cut as well. But he missed the cut by one shot. And whatever hole this was, his ball was in the rough. And there's video evidence again of him, moving not touching the ball, but all the grass behind the ball. It's almost looked like he's weeding it out. And there's pictures like before they show his ball before he started touching, weeding it out, if you want to call it that, and afterwards, and you can clearly see a difference in how you can visualize his ball much easier after he weeds out the grass behind him.
Why does he keep tempting fate, Claude? You know who you are. You know who's watching you. Why don't you
and every camera is watching you because of your history. So that's the other thing that's going around. So just quickly, Patrick Reed missed the cut. Billy Horschel, Hendrik Stenson, Cameron Champ, Francisco Molinari +8, and our Justin Rose withdrew after the third round. Not sure why. And our buddy KJ. Johnson.
Kamayu.
Thank you, Kamayu. He was actually last place for the entire tournament at +19. So he did not make the cut. Manny Millions. We can do this real quickly because this is a good one. I thought you all might. At least I found it interesting. Okay. Our friend Ricky Fowler was.
Speaking of Manny Millions,
Manny's
favorite golfer
Manny's favorite golfer is the Manny Millions of this week. Ricky Fowler finished at +11. Last place was $18,693. I'll take that for 4 days. Ricky's 5'9", 150 pounds, 32 years old. He's a slight fellow. From California. He's married. He's recently got married to Allison. He lives in the PGA capital of the world.
Allison, Florida, who has also spoken to Manny at a golf tournament.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
University of Oklahoma. Oklahoma State University. I don't believe he graduated because it doesn't say that he has a degree. Okay, here we go. For Manny Millions. PGA Tour, he joined in 2010.
Okay.
He has 5 PGA wins, all of them between 2012 and 2019.
Wow.
He has 14 second place finishes.
14 second place finishes.
Yeah, I was surprised at that too. I was actually surprised at the 5. I didn't know he had won 5 because they've been such a while ago. A couple years, but seemed like forever. 7 third place finishes. That's 72 top 10s for old Tricky Ricky.
That's the money. That's where the money is. Yeah.
He has
second places in top 10s.
Out of 262 events, he's made 205 cuts.
That's a really good percentage.
Yeah, well, that's previous because of the late he's been making many.
This year,
this year he sucks ass. So what is his career earnings? Who's going first, Claude? Since you stood the reigning champion.
Yeah, right? I'll go first. Okay. Ricky's made a lot of money on tour. I would not be surprised if Ricky Fowler's made $38 million.
Okay.
Close to 39. I'm gonna say 38.5.
38.5. Okay.
I think it might be. Said 40. No, I was gonna say 40, but so I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna say maybe it's just less than that. Maybe it's like 34.
39.2.
Man, that's what I said. I already said I was gonna say 40. I only did it out of kindness for clubs. Pseudo win. We shared.
Yeah. Just quickly through his little bit of background. Ricky used to be a dirt bike rider when he was a kid. And in high school, his freshman year, he broke his foot. Multiple places in his foot, and that's one of the reasons why he started playing golf more, consistently, I guess. Although he did start playing at the age of 3. His father, who owns a trucking company, used to ride dirt bikes as well. And he won the 1986 Baja 100 for Team Yamaha.
All right.
So there you go, Tricky Ricky.
There you go.
Yep.
All right. And by the way, we were talking about his his failure to win lately on tournament on the PGA Tour and his whole commercial stuff. I saw him do another commercial this week, a new one for Grant Thornton, financial advisors.
Wow. Okay.
And I was like, there's a new commercial for Ricky. Yeah. I mean, if he's made $38 million on tour, I wonder how much he's made in endorsements with like Puma and Cobra and Rocket Mortgage and all these other, Farmers Insurance and all this other kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. He's probably made almost close to that or maybe half of it or so in endorsements.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Did you see what's the guys when the announcers jabbed him on Faldo was his name?
Yes.
Yeah. You heard about what he made the little comment about Ricky. Well, then did you miss the cut? You got more time to make more commercials or something along those lines.
Yeah. And Vern said, you're not going to win. There's certain players you're just not going to win, throwing jabs at. Ricky's one of them.
Yeah.
But he did a few days later, say, it's more so,
trying to motivate him.
Yeah.
Right.
Try to back it out. No.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You said what you said. You remember what you said. Yeah, apparently, what's his name? I'm trying to Butch Harmon had asked Ricky one time, what do you want to be a Kardashian or you want to be a golfer?
Why would he bring them in there? He's not about that drama. That's nuts.
Well, I think he was the same thing. He was trying to motivate him, to get on the game, man. Are you going to be a golfer or are you going to be a TV guy and making commercials? You got to pick one, But then I as I was reading that article today, I thought about like Tiger. I mean, Tiger made a bazillion commercials too, and he was still kicking ass and taking names. So obviously you can do both if you have the discipline and the talent level.
And my thing is, and people assume that Ricky, if he wasn't, that comment assumes that if he wasn't doing that, he'd be kicking butt on tour. And maybe Ricky's like, you know what? I may just be an 8 to 10 win guy, period, in my career. But while I got this money chasing me, like he's not chasing the money's chasing him. Why the money's chasing me? What am I supposed to say? Why would you stop? Because I want to practice putting for 6 hours a day. No, I'm gonna go shoot these commercials. And I mean, listen, if DJ can do drugs half his life and still win, I mean, why can't Ricky go do commercials?
I always count on Claude for the DJ dagger.
I like DJ. I like DJ. I'm just saying, I don't understand why these guys would have a problem with Ricky getting that money. Except it seems to be a lot of the older guys, and maybe there's some jealousy because when they were playing, they weren't getting money. They weren't getting money the way that these guys are getting. It's like anything that they were going to get, they had to go grind and win. And now you get guys like Ricky Fowler who's got all this popularity. You got little kids walking around with the flat bill hats and the crazy colors and all this other kind of stuff, all because of Ricky. And they're like, this guy he's only won 5 tournaments, on tour. Why is he getting all this attention? It's like, well, because some people got it, and he
got it.
Yeah, some people don't. Yeah, that's good. That's a good observation, Claude. Basically, the old guard, we used to have to get it this way. 70% of our income was tournament wins or placing. Right. Whereas now you can maybe slide, if you're popular, you can slide to like 50-50 or something like that.
Because Ricky may not make it to the Masters.
Right.
He may not. I just want to say real quick, somebody else would be thinking about in that same vein, right? Roy McIlroy. Like if I asked you right now, how's Roy McIlroy been doing for the last couple of years? What would you say?
Not well.
No,
I would assume he's doing. He's not clearly not as dominant as he was early in his career, but I would assume he's a top 10 golfer.
So he last won in 2019. It's been 24 events since then. He's only missed one cut, and he's been in the top 20 16 of those 24 times. Wow. So when we forget these things, it's like when you read that line, it's like
hanging around.
He's not like afterthought. No, he's in the mix. It's just hard to. It's just hard to.
It's hard to win.
You say it all the time. It's hard to win on tour.
Yep.
LB, you had a quick LPGA thing you wanted to get to.
Yeah. So this week they were at the Drive-On Championship in Golden, Ocala, which is just outside of the Villages, in case you were curious where it was. Austin Ernst won at minus 15. She won by 5 shots. She won $225,000. Our friend in Soul System, Mariah Stackhouse, tied for 44th. At plus 2, she won $6,364.
That's not bad compared to what other.
Yeah. And real quickly, the Olivia Millions is Miss Lori Davies, who is 57 years old. Right. Yeah.
Legend.
Yeah, exactly. She's 2015 World Golf Hall of Famer inductee. In her plus 12, she won $3,030 for her efforts. Just for her career, she has 20 wins, 4 majors, Her last win was in 2001. She has a career earnings of $9 million.
See, you were supposed to let me guess because I was going to say if Annika did 21 or 22, whatever it was last week, we were shocked. Hers would be half, or at least close to half.
I would have been off. I'd have been
right. So I would have won that one too.
If we were doing it, we did.
Yeah.
All right, Golf DMV. We talked about this months ago. Vern going through all season strength training. He wants to win the Golf DMV long drive competition and put us to shame. And he got the help of Coach JP. We talked to him about his whole strength training course and stuff like that the first time he was on the show. Now we've got to get a full report card on Vern and what Vern's accomplished and how Vern was as a student. Coach JP, thank you for coming back. And by the way, you can be as brutally honest, and I am emphasizing the word brutal, when it comes to Vern and what he did. Now, Coach, I don't know if you remember this. Now, you see Vern, through our virtual studio thing here set up on Zoom. You see the weights in the background. Yeah. He didn't always have those back there. You remember that? I mean, before it was just a plain wall or it was a television or something. Yeah, he has strategically placed his weightlifting machinery behind him now to send us a message. And he's got the two big dumbbells on there, and it looks like he's pumping big time weight. That wasn't always there.
Toss it around. It's like the toss.
Yeah. And so you've done this. Let's talk about the program Vern did.
Hold on. Let me defend myself before he says anything. Program was 16 weeks, great gains. Started off with an average of 105, finished with an average of I want to say basically 120. It was like 119.8. I'm gonna post a great review on Google, but results are great. So before we, and here's the other thing, I can't even. I mean, the weight looks nice back there, but I can't lie to the coach because it's kind of like lying to your doctor, because he sees what I put in the app, like the actual
right. Because I was gonna ask you who helped you put the weights on the barbell.
Vern did a lot of explaining before we even let Coach speak.
I'm good now. I'm out.
Okay.
I'm good.
Did you get everything out that you wanted to get out before?
I did.
So, Coach, talk a little bit about Vern and the program you had him doing and how he was as a student.
So we did my, what I call my 16-week off-season program. So we had a little bit of a rough start. He had some equipment issues. So the first, let's say, I think 3 to 4 weeks, we were kind of bare bones in it with equipment. So even with that, look, the numbers speak for himself. Huge jumps in swing speed. Not always perfect with his workouts, but the consistency got there. Once we got going and, once he got all his equipment. And so, I got nothing but good things to say about him. We got through that first month of kind of piecing it together with little to nothing to work with. But, he put a lot of effort in on the swings and making sure he made his max effort swings, max effort hitting balls, doing his super speed, tracking his speeds. Getting his lifts in and making that close to 15 mile an hour jump in about 16 weeks time. I mean that's a pretty solid jump. You can't ask for much more than that over that time period. So all in all, the numbers speak for themselves. So obviously whatever he did, it worked.
Yeah. So the one question I have for you, JP, is when Vern or anybody is working on their speed. Does your program take into any account accuracy?
Yeah, so that's basically the next phase of what I want my students to work on. So in the beginning, I don't really care about accuracy.
Okay.
So we're just trying to make that number on the radar jump higher. Now, and this is a conversation Vern and I had last week about, what are the next steps? Okay, you made some good speed gains. Now we start to bring in working on contact. So where are we hitting the ball in the face? So starting to find the center of the face at those speeds. And these are things, when you're hitting balls, kind of instinctively, you're kind of working on that. I don't like the focus necessarily to be on that, especially in the beginning, because I'm trying to get my students to just get comfortable swinging fast. And then once we've made the gains, then the next step is, now let's work on finding the center of the face at that 120 mile an hour speed, more consistency. So in the beginning, not so much. But the next phases of, at least training on the range and hitting balls, now that importance of that becomes, more to the forefront rather than just speed and just making that number go up.
Very good.
That's interesting. Now, Vern, from your perspective, with what you wanted to get out of the program, some people may think that it's hard to do this kind of stuff virtually. Like, how did you find the virtual experience? Because Coach JP, you're in Louisiana, right?
Yeah.
So how did that work out for you, Vern? That whole experience and the apps and stuff like that.
Right. It was good. It was good. And Coach may be able to speak to this, because he has a wide student base. I suppose it depends on the student, but the app made it really convenient in terms of like being able to lay out all the workouts. There's just a calendar there, and you can hit them whenever you want. Or if you stick to a strict schedule, you can do that, which I did not. Sometimes I would just pile them up on like the last day, but that's fine. Either way, super convenient. And for me, what I was saying about the student was, it kind of depends on, like, if you're motivated, and I really wanted to see like how fast I could get. If you're motivated to do it, then you just need the guidance and the instruction. Whether I was there, I know some people for, certain types of instruction like to be in person and go in. And that's fine. I'm not knocking that either. But I know I didn't need it all. Didn't make a difference at all. Like I said, that's why I invested heavily in the weight stuff. I mean, the pandemic sucks, but in some way it was useful in this, because I probably wouldn't have invested in all this. I would have got like a gym membership, and then maybe I ended up canceling, and there's excuses built in. There's no excuse built in now because it's in the house.
Yep, it's in the house. Yep.
Right. It's in the house. So I have to just roll out of bed, get off my ass and do it. So no, so the distance played no factor. And I do want to say, for his part, where I'm telling you guys now, I am going to start up again in April 1. April 1, we're moving to the next phase, which is
nice.
So, you saw the numbers, and the numbers going to keep going up. I just want to let you know, Claude, and they'll be one yesterday.
Well, that's the reason I asked about the accuracy, because you can hit it a long way in the woods.
Yeah,
but we need to get you into the
which,
the fairway.
To be fair, I was doing a lot of in the last round, but we're going to leave that on the side. Right. So basically, this month, I'm taking this month to sort of start finding the face again and sort of get back used to hitting balls now that it's warming up. Mm-hmm. And then in April, I'm going to start up again, like JP was saying, in the next phase of the program to keep going for the in-season program. Because the thing that as I came to the end of the program and I hit these huge gains, I was texting everybody like crazy. I was like so excited.
Coach, he's texting pictures.
He gets them too. Coach gets them
just all these numbers. Check this out. I mean, it was one way. There was like 20 different pictures.
Right.
Like, one text, and we're like, what in the world?
I cracked 120 so many times. I just had to keep taking pictures. It's like nothing counts. There's no proof. Yeah. So
was he sending you these pictures too, Coach? Was he sending you all these pictures with 120?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's to kind of speak on the app. I mean, for the people that it works best for, obviously someone that's a little more self-motivated, and then someone that, I try to tell my clients, like, you've got to be active in this. So I do check-ins every week. I'm touching base with them. And so the more feedback they give me, the better I can do my job. And so the more I'm seeing their numbers, more I can tell, okay, are we making progress? Let's stay the course. Are we not making progress? Let's figure out why and make the proper adjustments. So, I like getting that feedback. Obviously I like seeing success, but, even if it's, I have some clients where, I have a few clients that have gone through some ruts and didn't make the gains. And so that's obviously my job to figure out, okay, what do we need to do to change things so that we get back on making progress and making gains?
Interesting.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, Claude, as the speed. No, that's what I was gonna say. So as I'm coming to the end of the program and I'm feeling really excited about all these gains, like I had this thought, like, I think on the last week, I was like, damn, it's like I can't. It's not like there's not this moment of relief where it's like, cool, we're done. Sell the weights, speeds here, all good to go. It's like I was like, fine, I gotta keep doing this. Yeah. I have to like keep doing this. And so thankfully, I like doing it, and the feedback from the radar, getting the speeds up makes it makes it fun. But I think as I see the scores drop on the course, and I'm just driving way past all of you, or walking past all of you as we go to bed, that will make it, especially Claude, because again, Claude has had this sneaky jump at speed. I didn't say anything when we last played. One of those drives that I thought the best drive I had on the last round, Claude was only like a few yards behind me. I mean, I kept quiet about it. I'm not going to celebrate that, but I take notice.
Wait till I start my strength training with Coach JP. Coach, you're gonna get a lot of money from Golf DMV. So for more information on your program and how people can sign up, give us the information so we can get some folks giving you a call, man.
So all of my information is on my website, www.guidryGolfandsport.com. You can reach me on my cell phone's my work phone, so 337-274-3639, or email John Paul, JOHNPAUL @guidrypt.com. I have a link on my site to like a free consultation call. So if someone's just interested, wants to know more about the program, whether it be a good fit for them or whatever, that's a great place to start, and they can set it up in the calendar and schedule a call with me, and figure out what it works. And the reality is look, the online training doesn't necessarily work for everybody. So I have like the package option, 16 weeks, 12 weeks, but I also do a month kind of where it allows for a little more trial period. I have some clients where, we may get a month or two in and from both ends, it may be, look, hey, this isn't working, and I've reached out to people in the field I know that may be in their area where they can go to in person. Because in the end, look, I mean, I don't want to take anybody's money if I'm not helping them. So, if it's a great fit, great, we'll roll along, we'll get some progress. But if we're not, then there's plenty of guys that do what I do across the nation that I can find that are in your local area if in person is more of a better option for you.
Right. And let me just say to wrap it up, like you can also find them on, so you'll see this on Instagram. You see clips of this on Instagram. You can go to our Instagram. You can see, if you scroll way back, you can see where we started and how it's going. We'll link to his profile, Dr. JP Guidry Sport and Performance, I think it is, in Instagram. We'll put the tag in there. I do want to ask you though, last question, Coach, about IG. Like some months ago, and again, I feel like a lot of instructors and coaches get this on IG a lot. Some months ago, you put up a post talking about speed and usual things, technicals, like, you lift and all this other stuff, standard stuff. And then everybody's like, yeah, this is great. And then there's one guy in there who sees Coach JP swinging. And I sent this to Claude and LB, and he's like, I think I did. And he's like, oh, that swing, that's going to be a big pull. That's going to be big pull to the left. Why do people feel the need to come out and try to coach up the coaches on IG? And you wrote before you say his response was very professional, just like, yes, this is speed. This is like, did you read any of the posts? This is all about speed. But like, I was frustrated for you reading it. I was like, bro, what are you talking about? Did you read any of this stuff?
Obviously everybody's an expert on social media.
That's true.
Yes. And that's kind of there's a lot of pros. Look, I wouldn't have the business I have without social media. So
of course,
there's a lot of cons. There's a lot of cons to it as well. So you just kind of deal with that. And that's kind of the big thing I stress is when you're training for speed, you kind of have to throw everything out. So I know like my swing's not perfect as it is,
right?
But when I'm training for speed, I'm only worried about making that number go up.
Right.
And that, and so the way I like to explain it, it's another skill. So if you're working on short game, you're working on putting, if you're working on shot shaping, if you're working on contact, your focus needs to be on that area. Speed's no different. And so a problem I face with a lot of golfers is they start to get too technical in their speed training and worry about what their swing's doing. For that period, for that box, that block, your only goal is to move the number up. Now, if we want to start working on face control and we're going to use, spray the face and see where you're making contact,
right?
Then we still may be looking at the number, but now the direct focus is coming where are we hitting it on the face. And so, we start maybe to match those things. But for pure speed training, whether it's with super speed, whether it's hitting balls, whatever it is, I'm only concerned about that miles per hour. And then, we'll look at ball speed. So if you have a way to measure ball speed, ultimately that's really what matters. But that goes back into now where we start layering in contact and, you could look at spin rate and angle of attack and all these things that can lend itself to changing those numbers. And the reality is they do matter when it comes to distance on the course.
Right.
But for my aspect, my main focus is getting that miles per hour up.
Right.
And then there's other things you can work on to start working on those other numbers to maximize those as well.
Yeah, LB and Claude, he said something. He said the key word he said was layers. And I don't remember who I heard say this, and you can correct me if this is a wrong analogy, JP, but I heard it's basically like if you don't go to the gym and try to do deadlifts on the treadmill, you work strength and then you put that down and then you go work on stamina and then you put that down and then you go work on, whatever sport you're working on. It's a layer. It's a layer cake. It's not like homogenous where it's like, oh, we do them all at the same time. It's like, no, you need to focus on
that makes sense.
one area before the
other. It ain't CrossFit.
You're right. And say what you will about CrossFit, but it's not the best thing if you're trying to improve performance in golf. So, and that's, if you're trying to get better at everything at once, you're not going to get better at anything. So you kind of have to, what's your focus? If your focus is speed, let's focus on speed. If your focus is contact, let's focus on contact. If it's strength, let's go heavy. you know, and so if it's mobility, then now we're working through full ranges of motion. So it, you know, when you design a program and when people reach out to me, you know, my question is, what are your goals? What are we trying to improve? And every exercise I put in a program, I ask myself that question. What's the goal of this exercise? And then I make sure that goal, that focus is the only thing we're worried about for that particular exercise or drill or whatever we're doing.
Awesome.
Wow. There you go. Coach JP, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so report card time. If we got to go A, B, C, D, F, or incomplete, what do you give Vern?
Oh, I'm gonna give him an A. 15 miles an hour. I don't care what else he did.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's like the guy that, you know, doesn't go to class and shows up for the test and makes an A. So
that is
well, there you go. Perfect. There you go, Coach JP. Thank you so much for joining us on Golf DMV, brother. Take it easy.
All right, man. Y'all have a good evening.
All right, thank you.
All right, folks. There you have it. So, A student. You're an A student, Vern.
How about that?
For the first time ever.
I'm about to ask you, is that new for you?
It is.
Nice. So there you go. And so I guess we'll keep tracking this whole distance thing. Now you're going into phase 2 with you know, with dialing in accuracy and things like that. We'll get into LB's fitting, but you know, you did mention that we played around and
Creek.
So Oak Creek. I mean, we can talk about it if you guys want to.
Yeah, I got my scorecard right here.
No, you both gonna talk about it. I'm gonna go on mute and just fall back. For anybody knows, I shot 94. I played like absolute ass trash. Here's what's so funny. You could tell that we were ready to get going with this season because I think LB may have texted a few days before, like, yeah, can't wait to get out. You know what I mean? Like, and we were all excited about it, right? But there were these small little things that was just going on during the round. Like every time I hit the ball, I said, no hook. There's no hook. Because each time we were at the simulators, I'm hooking the ball. And I'm like, it's not my miss. There's something wrong with the simulators. I did not hook the ball once.
Nope.
Not once. And there were a couple of times where there were a few slices off the tee box. And I'm like, well, where's the hook? There's the slice. Where's the hook? So again, I don't trust these simulators. They're not being accurate. There wasn't one hook. You guys witnessed it. You guys witnessed both. You witnessed witnessed the simulator, and you witnessed Oak Creek. No, like you've seen it. No, people wouldn't believe it if you didn't see it. Yeah. But so anyway, I kept repeating that after every single shot that didn't hook. Like, no,
he was legit mad.
Yeah. And then when I'm missing shots, Vern's like, "Oh, well, that's just not hooking." That's what it is. So I'm like, "Hey, the shade there." So that was one little small thing that was going on during the round. Then there was another thing where Vern, I forgot. I think we were halfway through the front 9, or maybe we were on the back already. And I had a shot, and it was a pretty good shot. And Vern was like, "I'm not even going to lie. I'm legit kind of upset that you're playing this well."
It was more than I was playing. I was so far back because him and LB were like kind of enjoying the round. It's like the round I always talk about at Northwest where we all played well, except not me. So just the two of you, and I'm like spraying the ball, and it was a hot mess. So I'm gonna be ready for this week. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So how'd y'all do? Yeah, talk about you. I mean, you did well, LB, right? 89, right?
Well, it was okay. I mean, given the circumstance, I mean, I had a +4 on the front and a +3 on the back.
Right.
So
and that +3 was that the one where it's like I followed everything you did that hole. Like we chunked the chip out on the way up, chunked a small little chip, then got on the green, then putted the ball, and
that was the one on the front, I think.
Yeah, and came back down. I did the exact same thing. And I think we did the same thing like on 17. It was 18. No, 17.
It was 16.
It was 16. And so when you take if you from those 2 or 3 holes, you probably could take 4 strokes from
easily. Because 4 of them were chips. They were just straight chips.
That was easily for you around. That could have been 82, 83.
Agreed.
Easily. 85. You think so?
85. Let's not get carried away.
So I played the 9 holes of my life like that. I was +4 after the front.
The front.
I mean, I was -1 after 3. That never happened. And so I'm just whistling around, going around. And then I started the back 9. I think it was +2, something like that. +2, and then maybe another +2 or +3, something like that. And I'm like, oh God, this it's falling apart. And so what I mentally did to help myself stay in, and it's such a loser approach. But the thing that helped me stay in, it was like, okay, you shot 40 on the front. You know what I mean? Like you've bought yourself at least
some breathing room here.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. So just reset.
Right.
And you're good to go, and it
keep it together,
kind of calm things down. But oh man, it was fun. We had a good time. Yeah. We got a round coming up at Hampshire Greens, Vern and myself on Thursday. We're trying to find a third. I should reach out to Kathy Kim, see if she wants to ride up and play Hampshire Greens.
Oh yeah.
We'll see. And then Saturday, LB, Vern, Glenn, and Coach Ward are going to play. Coach Lou is going to play.
Coach Howard. Yeah.
Howard. What time is it around on Thursday? That's right. I got a hip thing. Yeah, that's right. I was checking my calendar. I was like, why did I say no to Thursday? Okay.
Yeah. And you guys are playing where you
Laytonsville.
Laytonsville. Right. That's gonna be fun. A fun way to kind of keep the
and we can walk Laytonsville too. It's a walkable course.
Yeah, we can walk it.
Well, we're not. What are we starting out? We was gonna walk a lot this year. Wasn't in the plan?
Look, we want to peak close to Bandon Dunes, so there's no
need to start. You got to start. Hey, cardio,
load management.
Cardio, man. You got to start getting that 82 thing game season.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
I'll jump in at the end.
And so LB, you got fitted for some clubs.
Yes, I did.
So now, how did your iron fitting go? I'm interested to see what happens.
All right. So I went to see.
Did you bring multiple pairs? Did you bring multiple sets of Vern's irons that he's not using?
No, I just brought the one set of Vern's irons that I've been using for the last couple years, 3 years, 4 years now. How long has it been? It's been a few years.
Yeah, 15. Yeah, 15. Yeah,
2015. It's been that long. Them some old clubs, man. I need some newer clubs, Vern.
Yeah, I got them for you.
So I took my Titleist. What are they? AP? I don't even know what they are. Shoot, AP ones too.
Yes.
AP ones, one of those. Yep. I took them with me, which is what I've been swinging for the last, whenever I got them from Vern, how many years ago. I took those to Old Golf Park to my guy Brendan, and I set it up online, and they have a notes field. So in the notes I put, I want something either we're going to fit my current irons to me, or you're going to give me something that's much better than what I have. You know what I mean? It can't be. I'm not buying new clubs just
for a little bit.
For a little bit of increase. It's got to be a demonstrative increase for me to pay $200 for a new set of clubs. Because honestly, I'm really saving that for you guys to give me that for my retirement gift in a couple of years.
So a new set of clubs. Okay.
Yeah, new set of clubs. So I don't want. Let's put that out there.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, you are.
Put it out there. Put that thought.
At least we know where you stand, and we know what you want.
We know what you want. Yeah,
that's true.
Fine. Of course, the fitting will go along with that too. So
of course it will. Yeah,
why not? You think and a massage too.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Absolutely. And a pedicure. Don't forget a pedicure. So I get there with Brendan, and we start. I warmed up before he got there because he was a little bit late. I wouldn't appreciate that, but he was a little bit late. So I had already warmed up by the time he got there. So we go into the bay, and I'm hitting balls, and he starts pulling out clubs. I hit, which one did you get? The Mizuno
GPX.
GPX. Oh, he had those. He had the Sims.
Yep.
He had another Titleist, a new Titleist iron. I don't even know what they were, and something else. But he kept, pulling out things, changing shafts and changing this.
Oh, so he was changing shafts. He wasn't just handing you stock clubs. He was changing shafts.
No. Yeah, he was.
Oh, okay. He had shafts with him.
Oh, yeah. They got a whole
okay.
setup back there. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I was about to judge. Okay.
Oh, okay. No. Because I hit one with a black face. I think that was I don't even know what that was anymore. But it was so many. It may have been. I don't even know. I wouldn't even, honestly, I've never even looked at the clubs until after I finished with them to see what it was.
Okay.
And even then I was just like, oh, that's a Mizuno. Oh, that was a TaylorMade. Oh, that was a Titleist, whatever. So we went through everything. Changing clubs, change every shafts, and heads or whatever. We hit so many balls that I had a blister on my fingers when we got done. And I had one on my toe. I don't know how I did that one, but I had one on my toe and my blisters when we got done, because I probably had 2 buckets of balls in this whole process. And today I spent the entire day in my office with a heating pad on my back. That's how sore I was today from the thing. And the long and short of it is I am now a same old Titleist irons that I have right now. I went yesterday and got me a new set of grips. – Came home last night and I put on a whole new set of grips on my old irons, my old Vern AP 1s, 2s, whatever they are. I can't remember. And that's what I'm going to be hitting, because everything I hit was maybe either equal to or maybe 5 yards more. On a great swing, maybe 10 yards more. That was it. We found nothing that made it a huge increase for me to go, yep, that's worth $1,200.
What about the shafts? Did he say anything about the shafts that you were hitting? Was he like, oh, these are fine?
Yeah. Okay. And we did the measurement thing first too, because I took my old settings from the last time I got fitted 15 years ago. Now I showed him what the guy had done. He's like, oh, I know that guy. Yeah, he knew this guy's name too. Okay. That used to be there in Bethesda. And he's like, yeah, I don't think he's in the business anymore, whatever. So, and he was like, I don't know why he measured you at this number. So we went over and we did the measurements and everything. And he's like, yeah, this is way off.
But that didn't change anything with your shaft. So there was no recommendation to go lighter, heavier.
Nope. The clubs that I have, I couldn't hit anything better than what I have now. And of course, just like you all did with yours, part of the process of hitting those irons was a lesson as well, because you drop your shoulder that time, you did this turn, all that kind of stuff. So we were fixing things along the way to get some solid numbers. I mean, a couple of times I hit a back up a little bit. I will be getting one club. We are eliminating my my 4-iron and my hybrid and replacing it with a new Titleist. I forget the number. A new Titleist hybrid is going to take the place of my 4 and my old hybrid. So I am buying one club. We went back through all my woods and readjusted those, because I had them like my Cobra, which I do like, was too close to my 3-wood as far as the loft. The loft, yeah. So we made some adjustments there. We did those kind of things. We did a few things there. And the other thing we're going to do is he went through all my clubs and we looked at everything, especially my wedges. And then I always carry a lob wedge, which I enjoy it around the green. But he was like, no, you don't want that. So we want to do a lob wedge fitting. He wants to take that down to a 58 and then figure out which grooves would be best for my game, because like I told him, I said I use this basically only around the green. I don't really use it anywhere else. He's like, well, that's a waste of a club. If you're only using it around the green, then what good is it? You can use another wedge and get the same results from that around the green and have be a more versatile club that you could use in the fairway and come out and rough further out or whatever. So we're gonna do, once the grass range opens up there, we're gonna do a fitting with the wedges. And I'll probably get a new 58-degree wedge. So those are the only two things I'm going to end up buying. And like I said, I went and got me some new grips and put them on last night. So I'm ready to rock and roll now.
I was going to say, how do you feel? And you feel good. You feel good about your fitting. Okay, the clubs I have are good for me, and I'm ready to rock.
Right. And again, it saves me $200. It's that $200 gets pushed off to you guys. So I'm good.
Yeah, I feel like that's what you're more excited about. Like,
I'm more excited about saving money than I am.
That's actually what I think is going on here. That you're actually just more excited that, I'm going to get the money. I agree. 10 yards, whatever.
Yeah, I don't mind. Hey, I don't mind if y'all outdrive me. I don't care. It don't matter to me. Long as I can hit my honestly, if I can hit my stuff straight, I'm honestly, the distance part for me and I dig what Vern is doing is great, and it's all good. Right. But for me, I just need to hit the ball straight. Right. You know what I mean? If I can just hit it straight, I don't care about distance. I really don't. I really don't.
Too. Yeah. That's interesting. Okay. So you didn't really want to look. You didn't. Okay. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, no, it's a good job.
No, I mean, I want it. I mean, because I looked at some of the clubs and a lot of them, maybe it's because I've been using those, even the Titleist and the ones I had before, the big Berthas I had before that, and the other calories I had have a pretty good sized head.
Right.
Some of the new clubs nowadays, especially when I'm standing over them and looking down on them, they look so small. Compared to what I have, and it might be just a psychological thing that I feel like I'm hitting with a butter knife or something, as opposed to my club compared to some of the other clubs made me feel like I was hitting one of them kid clubs with the real big heads. You know what I mean?
Right. But confidence like a nice big target.
Exactly. So
I'm just okay. I'm legit surprised about that the shafts that he was just like nothing Nothing to see here. Everything here is fine. We can't improve these at all. I don't know.
I was a little bit too, but given the fact that everything that I was hitting that he was giving me wasn't going much further than what I already had. You know what I mean? So, I mean, what again? Like I said, what are we changing about?
For you, it's not about getting new clubs just to get new clubs.
No. Yeah, I wanted. Right, and the one thing he did say, because of the innovations or whatever you want to call it with the new club. So my 7-iron is probably equivalent to the new clubs are like a 6.5 iron.
The loss increasing.
Right. So that's one of the reasons why the new clubs go a little bit further than your older clubs, because they've rejiggered the lofts a little bit so that they go a little bit further. I mean, just because of the face angles or whatever. So it is what it is. But like I say, the distance for me isn't all that important to me, especially with my irons. And that the hybrid though that he gave me was hitting. It was much further, much more consistent than my current hybrid, which is probably at least 15 years old, if not more. So that I'm looking forward to. Actually, I didn't pick it up yet because he couldn't give me a price because somebody wasn't there because it's last year's model wasn't even a new. It's 2020 model. Right. So I got to pick that up hopefully tomorrow. But that was going much further than my old hybrid, and much more accurate. At least I was hitting it that day. But you know how that goes. It was good today. Tomorrow I probably won't be hitting it at all. Right. But, so yeah, all in all, it was good. I mean, We'll see. I mean, if my, I don't know. I mean, all in all, if my scores stay in the 80s, I'm content with that. Because really, that was my whole goal for that's our goal for the season. It's 80s, right?
Right.
So whatever. I put some new grips on them puppies and wash them up real good and keep it moving.
Okay, nice.
And
Vern doesn't like this. Vern does not like this at all.
Listen. I'm ready to pay $175 myself, and we'll both go.
Send me to the.
We'll both go. I'm going with you too. Just to see. We don't even need it. It was like we're not even here to buy clubs. Just take 2 hours. I'll do it. Just take 2 hours. I just want you to have him swing the clubs and just tell me, doctor, about the shafts you got. Because I kept asking about the shafts because he would take whatever head you had. He had a wall of shafts for that head. So even if you're like, hey, I want to keep these AP1s, cool. I'm gonna, swing this, and he'll get gains. But it could be right. They could be.
Well, but you got to remember too, these clubs don't have. They're not. I could look at them. I don't believe that you can just pop.
No, they're not. No. He doesn't. He doesn't change your clubs. What he does, he looks at the clubs you have, and he has AP1s in the shop.
Oh, okay.
Get those, and he has. Yeah, exactly. And he's like, no,
okay, okay, I got you.
He keeps switching shafts out, and
Well, we did a lot of. So the one club that. So out of the clubs that I hit, there was one club that was, if I had to buy a set, it would have been this particular club. I don't even remember which one it was. I think it was the one with the black face, whatever that was.
Right.
So at one point he took that head and we put like 3 different shafts in that same head.
Right.
And hit
nothing. Yeah.
And nothing. It was no major difference, at all. Some of them would just I could feel the difference in the weight. Some were heavier than others. Seemed like a little bit. But there was no significant change in distance by doing that. So,
Vern, which one are you more disappointed in? The way that your Scotty Cameron putter turned out, or LB's fitting?
Here we go.
Which one was more disappointing?
So, for those who don't know, there will be a post on Instagram about my Scotty Cameron putter. Probably more disappointed than Scotty Cameron, but I got a custom one, and you will see the reaction when I post it on there. I won't give it away, but. Suffice it to say that I will win. It was not what I wanted. It was not the reaction I wanted. Even for me, a little underwhelming. So now I found a custom club maker, and some money will be spent, and I'm going to win. I told Claude in a competition with no one is competing.
No one at all.
I will get a custom club and pull it out. Y'all will be like,
no one at all. Like no one is.
And then I'll never
competing with. No one's competing.
Right, put it back up on the mantle.
The fanciest putter competition. And for whatever reason,
I don't know why I got into this. Now I have to win.
and that's the thing. And you're all in. You're all in on it. It's like this is like, how did this become a thing?
Yeah.
So you contrast that where here's Vern with this putter competition with himself and bought new irons. He's getting these new clubs. These new putters, and LB's like, bought some new grips. I'm going to do a wedge fitting for one lob wedge.
Call it a day.
Yeah, and the hybrid. We'll see. And there we go. And there we go. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll report back next week with any. I'm going to try to schedule, because you also scheduled your driver fitting. You did your driver fitting already, Vern.
I did mine last week. That one was much easier. I'm getting the Fujikara shaft, only like a couple $100. The TaylorMade head was right for me. He said that one was fine. So just got a little bit heavier shaft.
So I'm going to schedule mine at some point and try to maybe try to get it either next week or something like that. Maybe I'll try to get it in next week to get fitted for my driver and woods and see if we can, keep it moving.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
2021 season has already kicked off for us, and lots of funny things happen.
And we got Sawgrass this week too. Sawgrass is this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who are our early favorites? I'm thinking DJ.
Justin Thomas is one I did look. We probably do a little bit of gambling on this one. We didn't have time to talk about it, but basically, look out for Justin Thomas, Dustin Johnson, and just for any of the degenerate gamblers out there, this course doesn't necessarily favor anybody. So strokes gained off the tee, strokes gained approach. Those are going to be your two guiding stats, and just go with somebody who has a hot hand right now.
Yeah.
And we'll review it all, folks, next week.
It won't be Ricky Fowler. I guarantee you that.
We'll talk about it next week, folks.